Blessed are the eyes that see what you see. For I tell you, many kings and prophets have desired to see what you see, and have not seen it. To hear what you hear, and have not heard it. I thank you, Father, for hiding these things from the learned and the wise, and revealing them to the innocent and the simple.
Oh, it's very big. Oh, it's massive.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, it's big. It's hitting stuff.
Emergency declarations are in place this morning in 3 southern states rocked by violent weather. A massive storm system across the southeast and Midwest spawned at least 34 tornadoes in 8 states since Wednesday. At least 14 people have died.
Mississippi was hardest hit, seeing at least a dozen tornadoes in the outbreak. Parts of the community of Holly Springs are in shambles. From the air, the path of destruction is clear.
I told my wife, run, get in the shower, in the tubs.
Marvin Sims' home was a total loss.
Then I looked up, the roof was blowing off the house.
Governor Phil Bryant says he will ask President Obama to declare Mississippi a disaster.
It is difficult, particularly this time of year, to see such damage and know that heartbreaks go along with that damage, that families have lost loved ones.
This is the town of Tullahoma, Mississippi. People here lost homes and this church. A tornado sliced right through it. The pastor told us the congregation still plans to hold services in the parking lot.
I call it just a hit in the gut, you know.
A hit in the gut.
Just hit, you know, just knock you off your feet.
Pastor Barry Reynolds is trying to figure out how to comfort his parishioners.
I think it devastated everybody, because never in history this town ever seen this.
The U.S. is accusing Iran of launching tests on rockets near American warships and commercial traffic in the Strait of Hormuz. One Iranian missile passed just 1,500 yards from the aircraft carrier USS Harry S. Truman last Saturday. The American charge raises tension between the U.S. and Iran after the nuclear deal this summer.
And there is more dangerous weather tonight. Blizzard conditions in parts of Texas, Oklahoma, and New Mexico.
Well, Jeff, it's been a wild day so far. We've had a lot of ice, a lot of sleet here in Oklahoma, flooding rains in eastern Oklahoma. It's just a big mess around here. I-40 westbound, again, west of Oklahoma City, has been shut down several times today to just simply too much ice and too much sleet. And we are not through yet. More on the way.
Farther west in Roswell, New Mexico, here's Cheyenne Cope of our Albuquerque affiliate KRQE.
I'm standing in probably about 2.5 feet of snow right now. It's all the way up to my knees and it's causing for some dangerous road conditions. Several roads have been shut down due to dangerous conditions across the area. Police are asking people to play it safe and stay off the road, saying they've never seen snow drifts like this before. The snow started falling yesterday and hasn't stopped. A blizzard warning is in effect across the East Central Plains. Yesterday, people here in Roswell scrambled to get last-minute essential supplies, clearing store shelves of snow shovels and other goods to tide them over through the storm.
This is the nightmare Southern California residents fear most after 4 years of drought conditions. A wall of flames overtaking a major highway within inches of homes and evacuees like Jane Johnson caught in the middle.
Go, go, go. We gotta get out of here.
It's been more than 40 years since the coastal community of Solomar Beach last burned. As the flames exploded, this family had just minutes to evacuate.
We're probably gonna head to Santa Barbara. I'm 29 years old. I don't think there's ever been a fire this hillside here.
Once residents escaped, crews attacked the fire head on. This video from the Ventura County Fire Department shows a bulldozer scraping brush near the flames.
That's it! Oh my God, that's it! That's it!
Just outside of Dallas, a tornado roared through the neighborhood of Rowlett. It tossed trucks and tore trees apart. Another twister hit the suburb of Garland. It was clocked as an EF4.
I looked out my window and saw the funnel, and then I just dove into the hallway.
It was spinning just right towards us, and all you heard was just debris hitting the house, hitting the house, hitting the house.
Survivors were thankful that their lives were spared.
We're just very grateful that we're alive and that we're all saved. all this can be replaced.
The tornadoes have killed at least 8 people in the Dallas area and injured dozens. And it's not just tornadoes. The same weather system has brought heavy snow and flooding to other areas. In northwest Texas, drifting snow has shut down Interstate 40 into New Mexico, and authorities are discouraging travel in 26 counties in the Texas Panhandle. In Oklahoma, the governor has declared a state of emergency because of blizzard conditions. There's also an ice storm warning out west with 2 to 4 inches of sleet and snow expected by late Monday. Eastern Oklahoma is under a flood warning, and flooding in Missouri has already killed several and led to a state of emergency there as well.
I thought I was dead, you know. I was waiting for the tornado to suck me out, but it didn't. Life gave me a second chance.
For Josh White, the chance to walk away from a deadly E4 tornado here in Garland, Texas, almost didn't come.
I was running towards my closet and the doors and everything started caving in and stuff started flying through the windows. Things were just hitting us. I could feel it hitting us, bricks, everything.
He hid with his wife and 5-year-old son with just a mattress to protect them from winds up to 200 miles per hour.
This has made me realize how fragile life is, you know? But try to do better.
Constance Rose's home was nearly demolished. 2 rooms were untouched. They were the closets where she and her family, including her 2-year-old granddaughter, took shelter.
And the house is a mess.
I know. It's a miracle that we got out alive.
Nearby, Karen Swearingen also hid in a closet with her boyfriend and her son Trevor, who is deaf.
I mean, it's dark. We have no electricity. And I'm trying to comfort him. And so the only way I could communicate was to hold his hands. And I just kept signing, God save us. God, with his hands in my hand, just the sign for God save us, God save us.
8 people were killed, most in their cars, as vehicles went airborne, tossed by the tornado. Back in Rowlett, Mike Gerard and his wife Nancy took us to their damaged home on Sunday.
We were on our patio in the back of the house.
What was that?
That was the ceiling falling in.
Nancy, are you okay?
No. My boys grew up in this house. And everything's gone.
Sorry, baby.
We went from happy to homeless in a minute.
At least 80 people are dead in attacks by Boko Haram terrorists in northeastern Nigeria. The militants used rocket-propelled grenades and suicide bombers in Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State. Many of the victims died in an explosion outside a mosque. About 95 miles away in the town of Madagali, twin suicide bombers struck, killing dozens. The attackers are seen as a challenge to the Nigerian president's claim last week that security forces are winning the war against Boko Haram.
Rescue crews in Illinois were able to pull out a group of students trapped on a school bus. They'd been swept away by floodwaters near Mascoutah. It happened on Highway 161. Fire officials say the bus went off the road and got stuck in a ditch. The students on board were members of a high school girls basketball team in Mount Vernon, and all 18 people on the bus were rescued, no injuries reported.
The Mississippi River and others are rising, and people are scrambling. In a race against time, they're filling sandbags, hoping to protect against flooding and 19 vulnerable levees.
The water's come up really fast.
I'm convinced that we're doing the right thing.
Flooding has already killed 18 people in the Midwest. Some towns like Union, Missouri are partly submerged. More than 500 roads are closed, and many rivers have not even crested. The governor has called out the National Guard to help secure evacuated areas and keep road closure sites clear.
So we're dealing with an incredible amount of water coming at you here. You're talking about almost 10 more vertical feet of moving water.
One good piece of news in St. Louis, more than 16,000 considering missionary work at the Urbana Conference have not been affected by the flooding. In the Northeast, snowstorms are proving deadly. A Tuesday blast brought snow and sleet, and more is coming. The weather this week has tied up air travel and travelers. In Chicago, workers set up more than 800 cots at O'Hare Airport for the stranded. And in Texas, major cleanup is needed after a deadly tornado swept through Dallas. Operation Blessing is leading volunteer efforts in Rowlett and helping in Garland.
We'll be sending out volunteers to love on residents, to pray with them, and to help them begin picking up the pieces.
Meteorologists believe the storm system that produced the Texas tornadoes is the same one that has brought flooding to the Midwest and snow to the Northeast.
Multiple blasts in Syria have left at least 32 people dead and scores of others injured. State media say the bomb explosions took place in Al-Zahra neighborhood of the western city of Homs. The neighborhood is mostly populated by Alawites. This is the second time in less than a month that Homs is coming under attack. On December the 12th, the ISIL Takfiri militants, also known as Daesh, detonated a car bomb near a medical clinic in Homs, killing at least 22 people and injuring many others. The city has been the scene of clashes between government forces and Takfiri militants in recent months.
Entire communities have been devastated by this deluge across vast swathes of northern England. The country hit by a series of 6 freak storms, combining high winds and heavy rains. Hundreds of tons of water dumped on the country in a short time. Cumbria, Lancashire and West Yorkshire taking the brunt. Flood defences put in at high cost just a few years ago have proved entirely inadequate, as homes and businesses have been repeatedly flooded, with the storms returning again and again. The estimated cost of the damage from the floodwaters now running at several $1 billion. The holiday season for many put on hold. And there's more rain on the way. As the great cleanup got underway, what Britain's weather forecasters were calling Storm Frank was on course to bring yet more misery. The cause? Well, we're told our old friends El Nino and the jet stream are playing a significant part. They're stronger than usual and far north of their regular position. So instead of dragging down cold Arctic weather, Britain's being battered with warmer winds from the south that are picking up vast quantities of water from the Atlantic and then unloading them over the British Isles.
It is very bad. It's the worst I've ever seen it. Yeah, the one before it wasn't far behind it, but this, in my opinion, is the worst.
It is a reminder that in the face of the raw power of nature, human beings are really quite small. And therefore, we need to do what we can to protect people, as I say, to invest more in flood defence. And that's a responsibility for the whole of society. And I hope that the government will respond to the demands, undoubtedly, that they will get. But you look at a place like Carlisle, which had devastating floods in the past. New flood defences went in, and they haven't been enough to keep out the rising flood waters. So it shows that we need to go back and reassess what needs to be done, but to realise that we are living in changing times when it comes to the weather.
Iraqi soldiers planted their national flag atop Ramadi's government center, breaking the death grip ISIS held over the city just 70 miles west of Baghdad. Iraqi officials declared Ramadi liberated, but U.S. officials cautioned ISIS still holds neighborhoods in the north and east, which will have to be cleared by house-to-house fighting against snipers and booby traps. Fighting has reduced parts of the city to rubble, and a return to normal life anytime soon is difficult to imagine. Still, taking back the city marked a major milestone for an army which last May had abandoned Ramadi in the face of an assault by a much smaller number of ISIS fighters. It also validated the American strategy of training and equipping Iraqi ground troops and backing them up with strikes from the air, a total of 630 in and around Ramadi. Pentagon officials said the operation was a complex one, which required the Iraqi army first to encircle the city and then to cross rivers where the bridges had been blown. The American strategy for dislodging ISIS seems to be gaining traction, but no U.S. official was willing to second the Iraqi Prime Minister's bold claim that 2016 would see the final defeat of ISIS in Iraq.